I don't really think you guys understand what we have going on here. When I look at these standings and I look at what's coming up in the next couple weeks and I think about how close this game is, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Right now, we have divisional playoffs or divisional matchups happening every single week. We have two divisions where the leader is only within 3 games of losing their spot. We have one division where the leader was just bumped out 2 weeks ago and they had a hell of a matchup last week. We have another division that's pretty much all settled out. I mean, there's no way that this division is going to have anybody come in and take over that number one spot. So right now, if you guys have been paying attention at all, you obviously know that Firkins is pretty much the first team to get in to the to the playoffs. Good job, Firkins. Now, technically, mathematically, there's definitely a way that you cannot make the playoffs. But the only way that you really can't make the playoffs is really if you just fall apart and you take all your players and you get rid of them all or you bench them all. Not going to happen. Because right now you're 12.5 up on Chad. You're 16.5 up on Caleb and 46.5 up on Todd. So chances are Firkins will officially be in the playoffs as long as he keeps winning out. Okay? Now we have the Hank Aaron division. Uncle Dave, on the other hand, is looking like he's slipping a little bit. I'm not saying that because I'm me. I'm saying that because mathematically it's happening. And I'll get to the power rankings in a little bit. So Dave has now dwindled his lead down to 3 games over Tim and 8 games over me. So Tim definitely has a huge shot at taking over that number one spot this week if Dave gets beat big. And I definitely have an outside shot of coming in and taking over that number one spot. Probably not going to happen. Mathematically, again, still can happen. I'm not out of the number one spot. But Tim and Dave have a barn burner coming here in the next couple weeks. And then, of course, we have Mason, Travis, and Seguin. Mason just bumped Travis off 2 weeks ago. Mason's been playing damn good ball all year. Travis, on the other hand, been slipping up a little bit. Travis's ball club's been number one pretty much the entire year, and what just happened? 2 weeks ago, he slipped up a little bit. And again, mathematically speaking, numbers never lie, right? So Travis is now 2 games back, and Seguin's 10.5 back. Again, mathematically very, very challenging for Seguin to come back and take the number one spot in the Ricky Henderson division, but not impossible. Not impossible. So essentially, we have some teams that have some pretty big things that they need to do. So what happened last week? Well, let me tell you, Mason and Travis squared off, and it was one hell of a matchup. Travis was down big. Travis was down huge going into Sunday, and Travis's team just turned up, fucking brought it back home, still lost, but narrowed the lead down to 5-4-2. What a phenomenal comeback. And Mason had one hell of a week, too. When you bat 307 and have an on-base percentage of 360, and your ERA is, 3.6, that's a pretty damn good week. So Mason and Travis just went in last week and had a damn good matchup. Mason took the W and is 2 games ahead of Travis right now. Again, Firkins we already know is going to be in, but Firkins beat the shit out of Todd. Not that big of a deal there. Everybody kind of figured that was going to happen. Chad and Caleb, pretty much 2 irrelevant teams right now, just battling it out for the very last spot of whatever they're going to do. It's cool that Caleb keeps participating at least, But anyway, Caleb beat the hell out of Chad. But again, pretty much irrelevant at this point in time, boys. You're just trying to make sure you don't get last in consolation. Then you had me and Tim. My team played like dog shit, but again, Sunday turned up, fucking came back. I was down 9-2 and coming up back 7-4. Tim still beat me. Tim's gaining up on Dave. Dave right now lost to Seguin last week. Dave's kind of looking like he's backing in the playoffs. All right? I mean, he's slipping. He's slipping. There's definitely an opportunity there to take that playoff spot for somebody. So let's talk about what's going to go on this week. Again, divisional matchups are keys, guys. Dave and me play this week. Big-ass matchup. big matchup for Dave, especially. Bigger matchup for Dave than me because Dave's the one that's holding the number 1 spot and controls his own destiny. I need things to happen. Dave, on the other hand, you can control your own destiny, figure out what's going to happen for you. So this is bigger for you than it is me. Then we got Tim and Travis. Obviously going to be game of the week. I mean, wild card. I'll get the wild card standings up in a little bit. But are you kidding me? This is going to be another crazy matchup. Travis definitely has not had an easy 2 weeks. We'll see what Travis can do this week, huh? Then we got Caleb and Todd, irrelevant. Seguin and Mason. Again, bigger matchup for Mason, but Seguin did climb the power rankings last week and proved himself that he's not out of it yet. So Mason still has his hands full with this one. Not an easy matchup. And then again, Firkins and Chad. Firkins and Chad, irrelevant. We all know Firkins is going to win Cy Young unless he just falls apart immensely. So power rankings, Mason, Travis, Tim. Tim jumped up 2 spots. As I'm saying, Tim's getting hot right now. Adam, Seguin, Dave. Seguin jumped up 2 spots. Dave fell down 3 spots. Again, Dave, it's in your hands right now. You still got that. But let's just put it this way. Your team fell down 3 spots, and you're behind in the power rankings behind your 2 teams that you really need to beat, which is me and Tim. Again, bigger deal for Tim. Oh, no, it's cool, Derby. Just knocking the shit. Bigger deal for Tim than it is me, but Dave's slipping. Fell down 3 spots. He's our biggest loser last week. Firkins, Chad, Caleb. Firkins moved up a spot, finally beating everybody in the Cy Young division, the power rankings. But Caleb fell down 2, pretty much eliminating Chad from any sort of contention. And Caleb and Todd have pretty much, well, let's put it this way. They have been respectively 9 and 10 since week 13. So probably not going to move any spots there. Now, right now in the wild card standings, Travis leads. Tim is 1 game back. I'm at 5.5 back. Seguin is 8.5 back, and Chad is 12 back. Pretty crazy. Essentially, you just take the difference between wins, losses, or the wins on each column. So Travis and Tim was -1 because Tim actually has more wins, but Travis has less losses. You add those up, which is 2, divide that by 2 to get 1, and you do that so on and so forth. So Travis right now is leading wild card. Tim is number 2, 1 game behind. Said this is getting crazy. Dave has 3 games up on Tim, 8 on me. Mason has 2 games up on Travis. Big win for Mason last week to gain another game on Travis. Seguin has a lot of room to get back into it, but 10.5 back. Firkins wraps it up. He's 12.5 up on Chad. I'm not even going to go into what happens now. But, yeah. So, what's happening next week? Tim and Dave play. That's huge. If Tim and Dave both have good weeks this week against Travis and myself, whoo, going to be crazy. Then I play Mason. Another big matchup, bigger for Mason. Next week, Seguin and Travis play, bigger for Travis. Travis still has the most possibility of getting in. And then, I'm not even going to go Cy Young because I'm running out of time. Then, last week of the season, I play Tim. Dave and Seguin play again. Big weeks for both Tim and Dave and Seguin and myself. Getting crazy, dude. Travis and Mason play last week of the season. This is going to be nuts. Imagine if Travis and Mason go in only 2 games separated. That's going to be insane. It's going to be an insane couple weeks. And then Todd plays Caleb, Todd, and then Firkins plays Chad. Doesn't really matter. Firkins is in. Nobody from Cy Young technically is really going to get in because the closest is Chad, and he's 12 games back. He's also 12.5 back from Firkins, which, let's be honest, if Firkins was in any other division, he wouldn't be in the playoffs either. But anyway, it's going to get crazy, guys. I'm trying to keep track of this. Essentially, who's on games back and where's everybody kind of moving. And we got an extreme 3 weeks ahead of us. Don't give up yet, boys. The only people that are all pretty much the 3 guys in the Cy Young division that don't have a name that starts with the name Mike and ends with Erkins, right? Everybody else is in contention. Everybody else statistically has a good enough chance to make the playoffs right now. It's going to be crazy. Seguin being the least amount. So, fucking watch your team, boys. Fantasy football's come around the corner, but this shit's getting crazy too. You know this is more challenging than fantasy football. You know it is. I'm out. Good luck, boys.